for him, every argument is a closing argument because he's always right. Adam Carolla.
Yeah, get it on. Got to get it on. No choice but to go. No mandate. You get it on now. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for telling a friend. We love that about you, right, Gina Grant?
That's right.
And Ball Bryan.
Why aren't you ever funny?
The playmaker, Michael Irvin, has kind of come on. He's quite, there's a couple of guys. Michael Irving's this way, Dion's this way. They made their way from the field into the color commentary, and they're good.
Yeah.
They bring it, man.
Natural performers.
Natural performers, yeah, from the field right onto the right into the booth. All right, let's see.
Dion's coaching.
Oh, that's
He's
right.
He's killing it. I think Jackson State. Look that up. I'm pretty sure it's Jackson State.
Yeah. I had a piece of paper out here, Chris, that put some notes on.
Brian just devil-may-care tossed it aside earlier.
Sorry, I thought it was extra.
That's all right.
Almost with actual vengeance.
It's funny. This is the second time this happened today because I've done a few pods. All right, I made a few.
It says taking these. I thought it was extra, so I moved it.
I made some notes on it. Beyond. Anyway, couple thoughts. First, a correction with then another correction.
Oh.
I was researching my El Chapo story from years ago. He escaped via the tunnel, popped up from a storm drain, commandeered a car.
Shawshank style?
Took off in the car, and the car broke down moments after, which I said, well, that's bad for the city you live in if you just commandeer a random car and you make it 80 feet.
Random escape vehicle.
Starts overheating. I mistakenly thought that he commandeered a second car and that broke down, but I was incorrect. He commandeered a second car and then was apprehended in the second car.
Thank you.
But
we've all been waiting for that
I have
apology.
figured out two things.
Oh, okay.
So I owe an apology to Mexico.
Oh, boy.
But I'm going to bring it around.
Okay.
The tunnel that he escaped from was actually longer than he made it in the first car.
Oh, stop it.
So that's bad for Mexico.
Yeah.
But there was no second car breakdown. And then I thought, Ace, let's be even-handed here.
That's what you call yourself, Ace?
Ace. He commandeered a Volkswagen Jetta. That's a German car.
Oh.
And that's the car that broke down. But then I said, wait a minute, Ace.
Made where?
In Mexico.
Okay.
And now we're back.
Now we're back.
And now you know the rest of the story. Sorry, Mexico. I tried.
You wanted to
I did all I could do.
You should have just stopped asking questions after the Jetta.
Yeah, just burn the computer.
Although it does say a lot for their tunneling abilities.
Absolutely. But by the way, how pissed would you be if you worked on that tunnel for 3 years and the guy got caught 4 minutes after he sprung to daylight?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know
only
what I
to
mean?
have it discovered, by some moron.
Yeah.
That's not you throwing a rope ladder off a helicopter. That is a lot of tedious work,
Yes,
tunneling through
time
Mexico.
commitment.
Also, something that Chris brought up that I forgot about. I can't remember if I got into it on the air or not. Shatner and his beer.
Not yet.
No.
Shatner, old school, for sure. So when we were having our intimate dinner in between shows in Brea, at some point when the waitress came by, she said, would you like something to drink? And he just said, a beer.
Oh.
And
Wow.
I remember, that's what it was. The older guys, you ordered a beer.
Beer.
Any
House beer.
Right.
Any movie you ever saw or any sitcom, the guy pulled up the bar and what did I do for a couple of beers here?
This is the cowboy orders whiskey.
Right.
Right. They wouldn't ask you what kind.
Toss random coins.
No one would ask if what you had on tap versus what's in a can. None of that was Shatner. Just a beer.
And what was the follow-up to that?
A beer got
It
brought
literally
to the table.
just brought him
But
a beer.
she wasn't like, any particular kind?
Not-
She understood the assignment.
August dove in and said like a Pilsner, and he was like, but I was thinking about it. My grandfather enjoyed a beer with dinner, and he just enjoyed a beer.
This is the
It was just-
Hungarian grandfather?
It was
Yes,
like John's
it was
brand,
just
right?
A beer. Oh, he got
was like the store brand.
he got the one that just said beer.
Right.
The
Homer
can
Simpson.
said beer on it. There was no
Tell you it's
brand.
so duff like that.
Yeah. It's just a made up, what was it? It was Lucky's which now is John or Vons or John's or whatever it is.
John's.
Yeah. Either way, the cheap.
If we're keeping it real.
The close supermarket for the poor people.
John's.
And he's like, what is your least popular yet cheapest beer? And they're like, the one that just says beer.
That's awesome.
And he said, then that will do because I do not deserve a Michelob. So
Do you respect that?
yeah, I mean, look.
For a certain generation.
Here's where I'm at. Because I know there's quite a chasm between Bald Bryan and Laszlo Gora.
I didn't even recognize this behavior.
Right. And I am certainly guilty of it myself. I'd like an IPA. Like, what do you got? Who makes your IPA? Or I'll take an IPA.
I've been to dinner with you where you have ordered a Pinot. Bring me a Pinot Noir.
Yeah, usually just get the house, whatever. But I don't go just red wine.
No, exactly. The Pinot Noir that people, I think there's, as we've seen with Dan Dunn, people are scared of wine a little bit or even drinks. Like, I don't know why they kind of freeze up. And it's like, all you need to do is know what you like. If you like Pinots, order Pinots. That's your. If you like Cabernets, order Cabernets. Your world will be infinitely better going out to dinner.
Agreed. Because you will get one of
You
those
get a
weird
version of what you like.
you get one of those Eastern Bloc ox blood weird stuff that comes out like kefir.
This
all
is
right.
an ice wine.
So I also want to say this to the places, like on the rare chance you order a glass of wine at a Japanese restaurant or at a Polish restaurant. Just have a couple bottles back there. Not everyone is so hardcore and authentic that we want the weird bull's blood, thick, really bitter stuff. Go down to Trader Joe's. Get a couple of Pinots.
They
Throw them
make
back
accessible drinks in those countries.
It's fine.
Yeah.
All right. So then I was thinking about. Lots of talk. So all we do is talk about. I heard some story, and the story was some Portland charter school, but then they wanted to start another charter school for the black and the brown people because they wanted people that looked like them, instructors that looked like them, students. And I thought, you've heard me a million times this. It's a weird road to go down. I need cops, I need principals, I need fire captains, I need folks I work with. I need people to look like me. Otherwise, why should I listen to them? It's a weird racist, weird kind of reversed, weird racist thing.
That sounds familiar, and we didn't like that time.
I get I was just watching a doc on Netflix on the space shuttle, and NASA made they went hard in the late 70s, maybe early 80s to go, we should have some black astronauts and some female astronauts, because I do get the part where you're a 14-year-old girl and every astronaut is a guy with a buzz cut named Gus, and you're sitting around going, I guess that's not my territory.
I could be an astronaut's wife.
I guess, but right. But in 2022, when everyone's got cable and satellite and phones and stuff, we've seen enough examples of folks, white coaches leading a black off defense or a black coach leading a white defense at the junior college level.
White defense, not for long.
Yeah, these are smaller Division III schools. But what I'm saying is this thing that we've just signed off on, which is we need people that look like us. And I was going back and I was thinking, every year I played Pop Warner football, I was looking at a old picture of me as a gremlin from 1974. It's framed on the wall, and I was looking at it, and I was like, every team I ever was on was 20 white guys, one or two Latin guys, and one or two black guys. Usually just one black guy, one Latin guy, the rest were white, and then coached by the whitest man of all with the red hair and mustache, the great Duke Gallagher.
Combined record of 1-32.
That's right. We won. We mostly won. Everyone played well together, and every black guy I played with was usually skilled position guy and was distributed the ball as much as we could get the guy. And Pop Warner, it's very evident, like, get that guy the ball because there's 9-year-olds running around and that guy can
He'll
toast a
destroy
rock.
them.
Right. But that was basically how it was. It was this, and this is in the 70s, and there was no thoughts about this guy. Like, how did he feel? He was just on the team. So was everyone else. Interesting, a couple guys I couldn't identify Jewish people back then. It was just that
This
guy.
was after we made them wear the yellow stars.
It takes some training.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that guy's hair's kinky like mine. Now looking back on, his first name was Lee. Like I'm sort of like, I think, he lived up in the Studio City Hills.
Dad
like
on a BMW.
Yeah. I think
Showing up late to games.
Yeah, I think that guy was Jewish. That guy, but nobody cared. It just it wasn't a thing. Now I was in California, so granted we're probably a little ahead of the rest of the nation, but there was that guy was trying to think. Stanley Wilson was one of the guys, big afro, dad, newscaster on ABC.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
Warren Wilson, I think, was Stanley's dad. We had the Boyd brothers. Had a guy named Sanders when I went to the Sun Valley Falcons, but it was
just running down names now.
I'm just making up names. I was thinking it was always one black guy on this all essentially white team with one Hispanic guy. And that was it. No one talked about it. And we just played and everyone hung out. And then like after the game, I would oftentimes go hang out, sleep over at Henry and James Boyd's house and hang out with in their black neighborhood. And no one thought anything of it.
It wasn't even a joke that you guys would.
It wasn't a thing.
No.
Like no one there, and the coaches were always 5 burly white guys, and they didn't have any thoughts about who got the rock. They just went, whoever's the best will play that position, and will equally distribute the ball. And it's just it wasn't something we're constantly beating ourselves over the head with. Nobody. Because inference is, well, look, there's all 5 white coaches here. It's like, yeah, well, then we got the one black guy on the team. Right. Well, then, aren't they going to side with the white people? It's like, no, they just want to win. But then why should how's the black guy going to listen to the white coach? It's like, he's the coach. He's going to draw up a play. We're all going to get the playbook. Like, it is weird times now. Very, very weird times. And dangerous times that we've signed off on the representation.
Yeah. For whatever reason, who it makes me think of is Mike Tyson with Customato. Like, was he just not supposed to listen to him?
Needed a white man to guide him.
I guess.
There's plenty of historical examples.
Right.
All right. We got my bit with Michael Irvin, Dance with Stars with Jerry Rice.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Oh, sorry. You were a little vague on exactly what you wanted. You just said the lead into Dancing with the Stars. He's been in a few episodes, so I didn't know which one you wanted to show.
The lead-in for that. No, I said the Dancing with the Stars bit, the comedy bit. We've run a bunch of times with Michael Irvin.
Okay, sorry. We were.
I said just lead-in, 10-second lead-in.
While he looks for that, when I coached for a couple of years at Harvard Westlake, very affluent school, let's just say. It was a similar racial makeup to what you're describing on your little Pop Warner teams. There was a lot of white kids, a lot of Jewish kids, and one black kid. You remember Mazio Royster played in the early 90s for USC? He was actually really good.
Royster.
His younger brother, Imhotep Royster.
What's his name?
Imhotep.
Imhotep.
They called him Tep. Mm-hmm. But for a full name was Imhotep. Guess who dominated on both sides of the ball and got the ball at every opportunity?
Well,
until he blew out his knee and the season took a dramatic turn.
I would argue Brian's point. It was quite the opposite.
Things have changed. Obviously.
You wanted the brother out on the field. I've never met. When I played high school ball, it was a little more evenly distributed. We probably had 5 or 7 guys who were bussed in from South Central, played on the team, all starters. And then if you go look at the bench, it was in high school, it was like 21 white guys sitting on the bench. The brothers were playing 2 ways.
And there was no discussion of like, so where are you from? Like, it was just, you just get there and you play.
Football is it's so much about winning that there is no room for any compromise at all.
I just mean in a like get to know you. Were these questions asked? Or you're little boys and you're just there to play football?
Like when I was in Pop Warner.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I kind of thought the Boyd brothers were cool because everybody
They're fast.
It's kind of what people don't really realize is you think the one kid who's different from the others is going to be ostracized, but actually that one kid becomes a little bit of a novelty, and you want to kind of hang out with that one kid.
Right.
We do is like, oh, he's different, so we're going to push him to the side. But it wasn't that. It was like, he's different. Let's hang out with him and be different with him.
Yeah.
That was always the take. All right.
It's funny that Gina obviously had a different experience growing up, but it's funny that you and I had such similar experiences growing up, different parts of the state, 10, 12 years apart, and yet I had very little to no concept of Judaism. Like, I didn't know which of my friends were Jewish. I didn't know what that was. And in retrospect, I had a friend named Randy Fish, and he had a nice house and like really sweet parents and like nice cars. And it's like, oh yeah, that was my Jewish friend. I didn't know it at the time, but in retrospect,
Not a ton of synagogues in San Mateo County.
I could not tell you where one was.
Okay.
Yeah,
Which doesn't make sense because it was a nice area.
And
it
it's
was
near San
California.
Francisco-ish.
Yeah.
I didn't know who the Jews were, but I started to kind of figure out, while everyone else was going for the Leif Garrett, feathered back, Cassidy brothers hair, I finally found folks who couldn't pull it off.
Yep.
Nate Wittenberg couldn't pull off that hair, and neither could I.
Neither could you.
Right. So there was kindred spirits, which is you can't pull off this ridiculous feathered hairdo any more than I can.
Right.
And it was a very good combination of they were a little bit on the meeker side. They were not as large as my Chris and Ray buddies were, who were ravenous, and their parents loved them.
Oh boy, strike two.
A lot of differences.
So they showed up
Stark differences,
Yeah.
I would say.
with a lunch bag filled with goodness, and they weren't big eaters. My
Good news.
my big eater friends, their parents didn't like them that much,
Right.
so they showed up with jack squat. So I figured out that if I sat with these guys, not only could we, cry into each other's shoulders about our hair and its inability to be moved,
But you can do it over some nice mandel bread.
but
or kickle.
I could finish the other half of the guy's peanut butter and jelly
Right.
sandwich, and so that was and then later on, it became the guys who they go snow skiing, they have a house in the mountains, like I am hitching my team to their wagon and hanging out with these guys.
Smart.
Yeah. All right. We'll find that clip
We
just
have
to
it.
show you. Michael, he's a good actor. He's a good actor. This is me as the coach of the men's team.
You think that's funny, Karate Kid? Where's your spray tan?
I put it on this morning, Coach.
It's the Iron Chef.
Liar!
I have sensitive skin. I was afraid I was...
You make me want to puke! You eyeballing me, Playmaker?
Yes, I am.
Okay, just checking.
He brings it. It's hard to get these guys to do it
Play
on the
along.
first take and play along and stuff like that. His yes, I am. Like he was right. It was all in his face.
Yeah, he looked
was
angry.
Bought it completely. And he couldn't do the joke if he didn't deliver it because it was all on the joke was all kind of on his end of the thing. All right. Let's see. We have Mike Lynch went to Florida to go to like Epcot Center or something for his break and then got snowed in and couldn't get back home to
We're driving to Florida.
Massachusetts. But
He drove?
he sent me this PSA from Florida, and
He's going cabin fever.
I thought
Makes Jack a dull boy.
I've seen a lot of PSAs here as it pertains to the COVID situation, and it's all about getting vaccinated. But here was the Florida PSA as it pertained to COVID, I believe.
Swimming.
Swimming, sound.
Protecting your health is a lifelong journey. We've always protected Floridians through innovative solutions. COVID-19 is no exception.
Early treatment saves lives.
It definitely saved mine.
Talk to your doctor about what can work best for you. As always, it is important to maintain a healthy immune system and stay active. Let's live.
That's a PSA.
Yeah.
So just because I'm now
Our
I can't-
PSAs are get under the fucking bed.
Right, and I can't distinguish what we were looking at and what we were listening to. It was basically an advertisement, for lack of a better word, for monoclonal
Yeah,
antibodies.
you couldn't hear that, but you can see a lot of like.
They're all like
everyone's
patients who benefited from monoclonal antibodies, and don't forget to boost your immune system.
And exercise.
Yeah.
And get healthy.
Yeah, by doing those
And
things.
Because healthy people aren't getting killed. So get healthy, everybody. That would be a message that could be sent. But that would be
I find no fault with that.
that would be up to you and not up to Gavin Newsom.
Or Barbara Freya.
Or Barbara Freya. That would be within your own dominion. You would have to get you healthy.
Right.
No intervention. They're not getting involved with that.
No.
And they only do stuff they can get involved in.
Right. And on top of that, I think you might have heard, it came out this morning, that most of California will be opening up, but not LA County.
Oh, cool.
Right.
So, yeah.
That's
That's
great.
because we're in the epicenter of control. They're the most controlling, and that's who we are.
The Epcot Center.
The Epcot Center of Control. And as also I had this thought as I was thinking about it, which is I bounced it off of Drew. He generally agreed, but I said, I'll bet you people, I've been there more and more news about the immune system, and the immune system needs to work out. And I was kind of thinking about, like, yeah, could you imagine training for a heavyweight prize fight and not bringing in any sparring partners? And essentially, we figured out that wiping everything down and locking everyone up and masking everyone up and keeping everyone at distance, that's the no sparring partner way of training. You have to push back. You have to have sparring partners. Your immune system needs to spar. And I said to Drew, I bet you people who get into the ocean on a regular basis have a much more robust immune system. I used to work with surfers, and the only sick days they ever took were days when there was a swell. That's how you knew where they were. That guy was a sewer rat. He would never get sick.
Right.
He'd say he was sick because you just go check the swell.
Well, and counterintuitively, at least from somebody from the Midwest, I was always so confused on rainy days in California when they'd say, don't go to the ocean. Like, but it's right. Well, I don't get it. But all the shit is washing into the ocean.
I was going to say maybe California is better for the building up the immune system by the ocean because
that's what I mean.
These are not the purest waters on God's green earth.
No,
they're pretty gross.
A lot more raw sewage in there. All right, so there's that. I also stumbled upon this piece of math, which I believe in. In California, it's illegal to carry nunchucks.
I'll
make a note of that.
Surprising.
But I mean, it's a rule.
It's on the book somewhere.
So someone's gonna say that. But I would argue, it can be used as a weapon.
Sure.
It's literally what they're for.
And everyone does a display stuff with it, but it
Exhibition.
can be used as a weapon. Yeah. And a knife can be used as a weapon. A gun could be used as a weapon.
Go on.
And it can be used against you as well. But no other weapon has caused more damage to the owners.
Yeah.
I've never heard of anyone thwarting a street crime with nunchucks.
No.
I've had many people swing those things around and whack themselves in the back of the head or in the on the funny bone.
Choke yourself out.
Or on the knee or choke themselves out with it. Like it's orders of magnitude. I've seen guys swing. I've never seen anyone stop any crime with them, but I've seen people beat the shit out of themselves with
Good
the
point.
nunchuck. So I would argue, maybe it's an argument for making it illegal, but it's not because they're going to cause harm to the populace.
Yeah.
That's self-harm.
Self-inflicted.
Wow.
I was talking to Stromer about this. It's like, I had nunchucks. I used to have to put elbow pads on because I kept whacking myself. I would be willing to watch a 30-second to 1 minute long compilation of people smacking themselves with
thinking the same
nunchucks.
thing.
It's got to be out there.
What percentage of nunchuck strikes in the history of man have been self-inflicted versus their intended target?
It's got to be. It has to be several million to one. Like everyone who's ever picked up a set has whacked themselves with it.
Nunchucks feel very 70s and 80s. Like I don't even know if would Sonny even know what they are? I mean, he doesn't-
No, I think it was a Bruce Lee thing. Chris, you made nunchucks when you were
Of course he did.
a kid.
Yeah, I did. I saw it in a movie. They took a plunger and they sawed it in half, and then they attached like a rope or a chain to it. And I tried it, and I did, and I made some nunchucks. And I'm reading now that California prohibits even making them.
Oh boy.
Is illegal.
You should watch what you say, man.
Why are there more rules in California than any other place in the land? Do we need as many rules as we have? And then why? I thought we were California. It was always come here and let your freak flag fly.
The Wild
man.
West.
Come on out. Yeah. Now we got rules.
Wow.
Did you whack yourself, Chris?
I did. It was more of just helicoptering it away from me.
Sure.
Just to.
And how many robberies did you prevent?
Well, I think I prevented all of them because I never got robbed after I made them.
Yeah, the neighbors saw him with the nunchucks.
Thwarted again.
All right, let's see.
I have
up
a
to
tweet,
3 years in jail.
Oh!
Yeah, the website says.
I'm sorry, but you got a bad lawyer. How many?
For possession of nunchucks.
I'm doing 36 months.
Giving away nunchucks, possession. Examples of illegal acts under this include, and then there's some examples. Juan goes to a concert with a pair of karate sticks hidden in his backpack.
Karate sticks.
Angel makes a pair of nunchucks using items she purchased from a hardware store.
These are all
And Maurice.
First off, no. Okay. Let me just say that no woman has ever made nunchucks. It's never happened.
Yeah.
Number two,
I buy it.
we
Angel
got
did.
we got Juan, Angel. We got 2 Latinos, and then Maurice.
Maurice.
Can we get a Bud in there? Or,
I know.
Or Frank?
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, keep
Well,
going.
Maurice bought a few sets of nunchucks in Oregon, put them in his car, and drove them to California.
Oh yeah,
Across state lines.
yeah.
That's
These are
worse.
examples of things not to do with nunchucks.
Yes.
We paid somebody to write this and then put it up, and somebody argued over it on
Someone
some
has a-
Senate floor somewhere.
A government job involves
Right.
writing these descriptions.
All right.
It's pretty amazing.
We got rules. All right. Max Mad, there must be a great compilation of people whacking themselves with nunchucks. But it is, I argue, the only weapon that has caused more damage to the owner.
Yeah.
People shoot themselves by mistake or on
Occasionally.
purpose.
Right.
Sometimes you're whipping a knife around and you slice
Yeah.
yourself.
This is different.
Shit happens with a crossbow now and again, but not like nunchucks.
No, that's a very astute point.
An important point.
Yeah.
Somebody had to say it.
All right. There's a YouTube compilation. Kaylin believes that a lot of these were staged, but
All right.
we'll take a
Why
look.
does Kaylin have to ruin it for us?
He's pretty good at it.
He whack.
He
It's
seems
it's
pretty
the back
bad.
of the head whack that gets you.
Oh,
this
double.
guy's got-
Oh, the nuts. Oh, wow.
I don't.
He was going Adam Carolla jump rope style.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Twice, 3 times.
I don't. This doesn't feel too staged. This guy just whacked
A chandelier.
jacked a chandelier
A
in
light
his,
fixture or
in his
whatever.
dorm
because
room.
they're pulling it off for like 3.5 seconds, so they clearly want to show off. Oh,
Yeah.
low ceilings.
Yeah. All right. Well,
no.
now we gotta watch
Child.
it.
The dog.
Kid
the
just
dog.
hit
Bite
the,
him.
just hit the
He's
dog.
watching Ninja Turtles.
All right. Let me tell you about Simply Safe over here. Today's episode is brought to you by Simply Safe Home Security. Ever wanted to know what's happening at home? Well, you can now when you're away. The new wireless outdoor camera from Simply Safe lets you see what's happening outside right from your phone. So I can check my phone and see, pool man, what's he up to out there? Philly cheesesteak. Is he getting in the pool? Everything to keep your home safe. Entry and motion sensors, indoor and outdoor cameras, 24/7 professional monitoring, ready to dispatch police, firefighters, or EMTs in a moment. Less than $1 a day, no long-term contracts or commitments. Sets up in about 30 minutes. Customize your home's perfect system in just a few minutes. Just go to simplysafe.com/Adam. You get your free indoor security camera. Plus, you get 20% off with interactive monitoring. Just go to simplysafe.com/Adam. All right, we will do some trending topics with Max Zapata right after this.
I just want to wish all of you a happy National Pizza Day.
Oh, thank
That is
you.
the number one trending topic at the moment.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
We're out of problems.
I love seeing that as the top thing people are talking about. Now to make Adam mad. So we all know how Adam feels about pizza toppings. First off,
He's pro.
Don't get the pepperoni and the cheese as your only two toppings. You're throwing a party. We all know what happened to Dr. Bruce's kids when they were asked, or what happened.
I stand by that. He says I traumatized them.
Why? What? Remind us.
Both can be true.
They were in my kitchen years ago, and I was going to go get pizza. And I don't know, at the time his son was 9, maybe 9 or 10. His daughter was 9 or 10. And I said, I'm going to order some pizza. What do you like? What do you like on your pizza? And they're like, I don't know. I said, well, you like meat? You like vegetables? And you want pepperoni, mushrooms? What do you want? Don't know.
What? I've never heard that answer before.
You got to have something. You like pizza?
You had pizza?
Yep. I said, well, what you want? What toppings do you want on top of the pizza? And they're like, I don't know. I was like, okay, you have to declare major. I can't let you sail through life this way.
have to have thoughts.
It's a huge question mark over your head.
Yeah.
And then I think the boy waited a few minutes. They're like, how about broccoli? I'm like, no,
What?
no, we're not doing that.
Does he? I don't think he knows what pizza is.
Then everyone started yelling at me. I'm trying to coach these kids up. They're gonna be at college one day. They're gonna be beaten to an inch of their life with a fucking pillowcase filled with bars of soap.
You're preparing them for life.
I'm preparing them for life. I'm like, look, you pick something that you like and you put it on top of the pizza. That's what you do. But the last time I saw Dr. Bruce, Jake came by with this fucking potato on top of the pizza. That was a shit show.
Yeah.
Same kid?
A child.
No, I'm
A
serious.
child
Kid.
says, "I'll take broccoli as my pizza topping."
That's a recurring joke in Inside Out that like a 9-year-old
Yeah.
doesn't like broccoli on pizza.
right.
It's
Yes,
gross.
that's right. I've never heard of it.
When I'm in charge, there's just going to be a list of approved toppings, and that'll be it. And I'll listen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what won't make the list? Hot tomato slices.
Pointless.
This is
I know.
I've had to dealt with this my whole adult life. They get big slices of tomato, which just first off, hot tomato's weird, and then it just kind of pusses out.
It's watery.
And then secondly, the pizza's made of tomato sauce. Get a topping. This is a redundant topping, and also hot thin slices of tomato, zero taste. There's nothing. There's a little weird goo. There's a little bleed out texture, a little pus. There is no.
There's tomato sauce underneath.
And not only no taste, but for whatever reason, maybe the thinness or the wateriness, scorching hot.
Yeah.
Like when the pizza's totally edible.
Molten.
Anytime I had fresh tomatoes, I had tomatoes on a pizza. You got to cut them cold and fresh.
Put them on last.
Fresh Toms. They're good.
But you don't
Pepperoni
bake
and fresh
'em.
Toms.
Yeah, I still just feel like
Not
it
necessary.
doesn't add anything. I garlic's good. I like onion and sausage, but I'm
crumbled
flexible.
sausage.
Yeah, or even
No, didn't you try to put a giant meatball on your pizza and they told you no?
No, I went to I did.
Moza?
Yeah, I went to Moza. I
yeah.
guess
Moza.
I did the 5 easy pieces, or was that a no?
That sounds like
No, the wrong movie.
what's the Bianco's?
I went to what
In Phoenix?
What is the scene? Well, we know Bianco, so he'll do
5 easy
whatever he wants.
pieces. Hold the chicken between your knees.
Was that where he was ordering?
He wanted
Yeah.
chicken, and she only give him like chicken sandwich. You remember that
Yeah. That's my 5
Or he
easy
wanted
pieces.
toast or
move.
something.
I was like, their big rage over Moza is the meatballs, and I said, good, I'm going meatball pizza, and they're like, we don't do that, and I'm like, You have meatballs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have an oven next to the meatballs with the
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
cheese
pipe
pizza
it
on
on.
it.
Right there. You can see it from here.
Cut it in half and put them on top. It's like, nope.
No.
We don't do that. I'm like, first off,
Purist.
I don't know. Like, I ran into this with Zanku chicken and their shawarma thing. Why so many rules?
No.
You know what I mean? You got the chicken shawarma, you got the beef and lamb shawarma. They're the same price. Well, why not give me a suicide?
Throw 'em
Let's go
together.
50-50 here.
Yeah.
What are these rules? We don't do this. It's like, oh, well, let's break with convention.
Who are you trying to protect?
You'll be the David Bowie of pizza toppings. You'll be on the vanguard.
yeah.
Yes, you'll be breaking down barriers. Next thing you know, you're inspiring the youth of America to put. And by the way,
Hale's an influencer.
I didn't invent meatballs on pizza. That exists,
It does.
and I love it. Although there are structural concerns because I love the New York style thin crust slice so much, and it cannot support the weight of a meatball often.
You have to succumb to the fork and knife.
But sorry, go ahead.
You were
Max
saying
Spanner.
about
What were you saying? Yeah, but I'm not blaming myself for traumatizing Bruce's kids. They needed to declare what they wanted on their pizza.
I've never heard of a kid being like, I don't have an answer. Not even like cheese.
You know here's what the assertion or the assertion is, I should say, in such situations. It always comes back to me. It always comes back to me being a bully.
Right. They were panic firing because they were scared.
They seized up.
Yeah.
Okay. First things first. If somebody says, "What would you like on your pizza?" you shouldn't freeze up. That's not an 18-wheeler heading toward your bed, waking you up at night.
You're not a deer.
We're sitting in a kitchen. I'm ordering pizza. Don't seize up. So, and also, I didn't go, "Hey, you little tards, what the fuck you want on top of your pie?" I was like, "I'm ordering pizza. What do you guys want? What topping? What do you guys want on your pizza?" So, well, you can be intimidating. True. But not in all situations. Sometimes I'm just asking kids what they want for on top of their pizza. I get it. I'm an ogre, but this isn't me yelling at somebody who's climbing into my yard. This is me just asking.
Inviting them to dinner.
Yeah, to be fair, you did say, "Tell me what you want on your pizza, or I'm going to smack you."
Or I'm going to
you were
smack you.
intimidating.
And they couldn't come up with an answer, but eventually we got to broccoli.
Wow.
I think I've spent a fair chunk of my adult life trying to talk people out of stuff they wanted on their pizza.
Yeah. I get it now.
I become like a lobbyist for sausage.
A sommelier.
Yeah.
You don't want that.
Right.
A pizza
recommend.
sommelier.
All right, sir. What do you got, Max Spanner?
Pineapple pizza you love.
I do.
I don't mind it.
I like it.
Interesting, though. The only thing you probably like about it is the taste, because otherwise it does have that weird molten factor, and it is juicy.
I have a thing. It's why I love Thai food so much. I like a little sweetness with my salty, and I like it for that reason. I understand I'm the subject of much ridicule. Jimmy Kimmel has major issues with this, but I prefer it. I enjoy it. I'm allowed some foibles.
All right. Well, so because it's National Pizza Day, Slice, this company does a lot of studies and reports, and they released them today. Pineapple pizza up 76% this year.
That's a huge
almost
margin.
doubled,
Yeah.
Huge. Dairy-free pizza
Yeah.
saw a 333% increase.
Was it
in
like
orders.
cashew cheese or something?
Yeah.
Fake cheese or no cheese? Just
Oh, interesting.
Oh,
just
come.
get the
Okay, I am Jewish, so it goes without saying I'm severely lactose intolerant. Under no circumstances would I have a vegan pizza or a cheese-free pizza. I will eat it and I will deal with it later.
Yeah.
So everyone else in the house.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm with you. It's called pizza. It has cheese on it.
Otherwise,
that's what
I
it
just
is.
won't have pizza.
You're giving me like
Yeah.
flatbread with
I'll have
something.
something else.
Potatoes. Ugh.
the most popular topping, pepperoni.
Sure.
Sausage and onion, 4th and 5th, right under mushrooms and extra cheese.
Here's an
say that's a tough one.
interesting. Here's a thing. Maybe. Tell me if this has skewed the pepperoni toppings at the top of the topping mountain. Kids love pepperoni. So if you are, in fact, so if you're having a Super Bowl party and you're ordering pizzas and there's kids at the Super Bowl party, you shall order some pepperoni pizzas.
It's safe.
But I would bet while 9-year-olds that are 100% pepperoni, if you get hold of those kids when they're 45, it's a much lower percentage that go pepperoni. Yep. I think you grow out of the pepperoni, but the pepperoni numbers are padded by the kids. If you took this survey and you said amongst 40-year-olds in the United States, what is the most favorite topping? Maybe pepperoni wouldn't, or it'd be a lower percentage.
Because this is probably just pizzas ordered as opposed to preference for adults.
Right, and meatball's 10th place, by the way. So
10th?
Yeah.
Wait, what's above meatball?
I don't have that. I just wrote that. I mean, olives.
I like olives.
All the other toppings. Now, what are you guys' thoughts on putting ranch on your pizza?
I'm from Kansas, so of course I abide by that.
I'm a big fan.
You got to
dip.
dip
I hate that I am, but I love ranch on my pizza.
Do you squirt it on top of the pizza?
I dip. I put it.
That's disgusting.
I'll dip my pizza in the.
I don't mind.
Side of ranch.
I don't mind some ranch. I don't need it, but I don't mind it.
What do you think about dipping the crust? Because at that point, you're done with the top.
I got ranch rules.
Or as Vinny calls it, Vinny calls the crust the rind. You don't need to eat the rind.
You're allowed to dip the crust if there's nothing left but the crust.
Yeah.
But even then, very slippery slope with the ranch. And of course, it makes everything better.
Yeah.
It just makes everything better. But at a certain point, you have to kind of stop. It's sort of like. Yeah, I get like all the bad creamers that taste like French vanilla and everything. Like it's all there. But at a certain point, you just got to hunker down and drink coffee.
Yeah.
Or eat pizza. Like we can't be adding stuff onto everything.
Yeah.
Ranch has become a surprisingly big part of my life in the last 4 or 5 years. Not just because of Tessa, but also keto. Like it's like zero sugar, essentially. Yeah. I dip those veggies in there all day.
That's right.
But I think you'd have to look hard for ranch without all the seed oil in it.
True. Dressings in general are very sneaky when it comes to all that shit. So the dextrose and the multi-dextrose and all that.
I believe, Dawson, not since our green machine debacle of 2014.
Speaking of broccoli.
I'm 100% off those.
The
addict. How many days?
Look at the pounds have just melted away.
It was rough.
Yeah. All right, here's what I'm saying. So Vinny will tell you stay away from the carbs, stay away from the sugar, but stay away from the canola oil, the sunflower oil, and it is permeated everything you put in your mouth. It all has that in it. And the number one culprit is the salad dressing. And I believe I was looking up some of Newman's Own because I don't trust it anymore. It was Newman's Own olive oil and vinegar or whatever, and you turn around and canola oil is the first.
Same. I was looking for avocado oil mayonnaise, and it says like in big letters, avocado oil mayonnaise. And you turn around, canola oil is the first thing. Wow. The avocado oil just happens to be in there somewhere.
Ranch is the easiest thing to make yourself.
I'm going to circle back on my whole regulatory government thing.
Yeah.
I'd like this a little more regulated.
Yeah.
I don't think you can say this mayo is made with avocado oil and have canola oil be number one
I agree.
on the thing. So now you have to like read the fine print and everything. And there are some salad dressings that are made with avocado oil, but you got to look for them, and also
they cost twice as much.
They're not in the dressing aisle; they're in the cold section.
Another deal is the I love the artichoke hearts that are like roasted and in that oil.
Yeah.
You got to look far and wide to get the olive oil, and there's all that canola oil. But ranch, I think, Brian, if you're gonna stay on your ranch ways, I think you got to find some brand that does it with the olive oil or
I'll hook you up
or the whatever oil.
There's a good in the cold section, at least at Ralph's.
Yeah.
There's like it's like a yogurt ranch, and that's the one I use, or I make it myself. But can I tell you, I made chili over the weekend. It was fucking great, but I didn't make it completely homemade because I was in the supermarket and I saw Carol Shelby chili mix. And I was like, I'm curious. And it was great. It was delicious. It does come with a packet of cornmeal, I guess, for a thickener, and I didn't use that. I've never heard of that.
Yeah. He famously,
really good.
When he got out of racing, he got into chili.
It was really good.
And he had 1,000 acres in some wherever bumfuck Texas, and he started this huge chili cook-off.
It's great.
All right, sorry, Max Bound.
Yeah, well, West Virginia, big they're number one in putting ranch on their pizza, but California, they're the number one pizza that California orders, veggie.
Whoa.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Same with Washington. Yeah.
It's the number one most popular pizza.
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
That is our number one most ordered pizza here.
Sad.
Bizarre.
It's sad. All right. Now, on to some bigger news. Adidas is also trending. So they have a new campaign for sports bras, and they tweeted out.
Oh, yeah.
Hot.
I saw this.
They tweeted, "We believe women's breasts in all shapes and sizes deserve support and comfort, which is why our new sports bra range contains 43 styles, so everyone can find the right fit for them. Explore the new Adidas sports bra collection." And then here's the picture they put up. Don't share it on YouTube.
Oh,
Emmy.
my.
This is such bullshit. I have such a problem with this campaign for personal reasons.
Zoom in.
So this is literally a grid of different women's breasts, which I look at all day long because I'm on these like Facebook
Nice.
groups with like breast reduction and all this stuff. Anyway, this is like all
Slow it
different,
down. I'll make my own batch of ranch.
all shapes essentially and sizes of regular women's boobs. Mazel tov.
Yeah.
I would say by far the biggest breast size on this whole wall that we're looking at is maybe a D. That's
I have to
that's
really
child's
look.
play.
Yeah, which one?
So when they talk about so everyone can find the right fit, really, bitch? My
Yeah.
shit's not up there.
Bottom left, very perky.
Wow.
Yeah, those. Yeah.
Yeah, all
Those
50
might have had a little
looking
help.
at 50
Yeah.
breasts.
The day is young.
I think they put a couple of dudes in there. Look towards the bottom right.
I thought you were going to say the top middle.
Yeah, so
God bless.
everyone's
Are
freaking
there
out over
dudes
this.
in there? All right. Well, I will say this. Number
That one has a beard.
Number 3. Oh, does that guy have a beard? Number 3 on the
of
top
negligence.
row has whatever Michael Jackson had.
Vitiligo?
Vitiligo. Looks like vitiligo. I get that everyone needs a bra, but put the ones with the diseases down lower. But also,
You got to put them at top, otherwise it becomes sexual. And they're not trying to be sexual.
but the
No, they're not.
vitiligo picture
Boom.
with the light skin and the darker skin and the breast looks like an angry owl. If you really look at it.
Which one? Which one?
Number 3
Okay.
at the top row.
yeah, it's a Tootsie Roll ad.
It's an owl that's angry. That's what it looks like to me. Looks like
He looks, shocked and angry. You're right. Yeah.
yeah, it's an angry owl.
Bemused.
Wow, that is.
And I feel like this is bad juju.
yeah,
and
someone got a tan.
It's got the vitiligo up top. Looks like eyebrows and eyes wide open and a mouth down below.
Presumably.
It's an angry owl.
yeah.
I see
right.
it.
But I'm with Gina. I'd like to see bigger boobs.
Me too. Me too.
Well, or by all means, don't say it's for everyone because it's clearly there is not bigger than. Do you guys see bigger than a D on there?
Well, okay. Serious question for the girl in the room, Chris.
Yeah.
How do you measure the for lack of a better term, floppier?
Jesus, Brian.
Sorry, I'm serious though, because there's some monumental, very floppy breasts up there. But would they be measured as large?
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
You all know that a bra measurement is your rib cage right under your boobs, and then there's a cup size. So it's your band size and your cup size. You can have a really big band size, like be a hardy, stocky lady and have really small boobs.
Is that the number?
Yes.
The number is
When
the
I
band
go
size.
out on Saturday, that's what I'm looking for. I want like a 42A. You know what I mean? Like a lot of trap and delt,
Right.
you know?
42A minus.
Yeah.
Convex, concave.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of a smaller band, obviously a really big cup, and that shit does not represent me. Are we still talking about representation?
Yeah. See if you can find one.
And Brian, those can be scooped into a bra.
I was gonna say all the way to the right, second down is giving you a run for your money.
Yeah, that looks like a
think?
pretty good ample bosom there.
Okay.
So everyone's up in arms about it. I mean,
why
obviously
is
people love
everyone?
it.
Why are they up in arms?
Because there's like, we want to see sports bras, and you're posting on Twitter just a bunch of boobs.
Yeah.
So Adidas will has been defending themselves on Twitter, saying it's important to normalize the human body and help inspire future generations to help feel confident and unashamed. It's perfectly natural to have breasts.
I totally agree with that, actually, because, we're in a stage of not only is like the quote unquote Kardashian body not realistic without surgery, because it's thigh gap with big hips and a big butt and a small waist, which doesn't really exist in nature, but everything's so filtered. I don't mind that aspect of it.
Yeah, and you're gonna like this, Adam. They said they're happy to celebrate all of that and won't be taking this down.
Oh,
and they will,
good.
Yeah, so, no apologies there.
But there was no like nudity, like content warning or something.
No.
Wow.
I mean, I don't think Twitter has that.
You should report this.
Yeah.
All right. What else you got?
Wow.
All right. Well, Adidas also trending because they dropped that guy Kurt Zuma from kicking his cats. Did you see that video?
Yes.
It's terrible.
No.
I
Don't
mean, I
watch
didn't
it.
watch the
Don't
video,
watch
but
it.
I saw the
He's a
headline.
pro soccer player. Kicked his cats. So and like slapped his cats in the video. It's
Why
truly
is it on
awful.
video?
Because somebody posted on Snapchat with like the crying, laughing faces. So it must have been like somebody who knew him and just put
it was
as
funny.
just
Was
thought
he
it was
kicking
funny.
them like out of the way, like
Yeah.
a nudge, or did he fucking go free kick on this?
Out of the way, but it was like sent
He's
the
a
cat
soccer player.
flying
That's what
across.
I'm
From,
saying.
it's a pro soccer player, and then slapped a cat that somebody was holding too.
I don't like that.
So
He's got to go.
yes, and so the Royal Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, which is an awesome
Well,
name.
I'm curious
British?
though.
Yeah.
Were that his cats?
Yeah, they're his cats.
Why own cats if you don't like cats?
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
They've taken the cats away. They say that they're fine. But the thing is, everyone was really upset because this guy played the game the next day after all this controversy.
Well, he's allowed to
Should he
play
not be?
soccer.
Exactly. So he played the game.
That's where you kick things.
Yeah, and he was booed every time he touched the ball, even by his own
Wow,
fans.
by the cat lovers in the audience.
Oh yeah, everybody loves cats. So the team decided to donate 2 weeks worth of his wages to animal welfare charities.
The team decided
Yes, and they
donate his wages.
Yeah, and Adidas dropped him.
Well,
So trending for other
what you
reasons
get.
You hear
as
that,
well.
Puma?
Now the player says, "I want to say how deeply sorry I am to anyone who is upset by the video. I'd like to assure that everyone that our cats are perfectly fine and loved."
apologize to the cats.
Imagine the devout Christian who's very upset about the boob video, and they're like, "Oh, you think that's bad? Adidas got this whole pussy problem." Oh no,
Guys slapping, kicking pussy.
do not show that.
Yeah. All right. And lastly, let's just do yesterday you mentioned how all the Super Bowl foods and what the prices are. It's like, oh my God, we get it already.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get that way with Joe Rogan news.
Right.
And how?
Yeah, it is just non-stop.
Calling it news is generous at this point.
Yeah.
We get it. We
Hot
understand.
gossip.
Yeah.
Yeah, so obviously we know what happened to Neil Young and Joni Mitchell and the whole misinformation stuff on Spotify. And then over the weekend, he was once again in circulation because of that video where he says the N-word a bunch of times. It's like a compilation
Yeah, I'm
video.
going to defend Joe. Is Michael on the phone, or can you hear this? Or is he not jumped in yet?
I didn't see the video, but is it in context? Is he talking about rap lyrics
Yes.
or something?
Yeah.
It's not.
He's doing Richard Pryor. But
It's like a supercut.
Yeah,
No,
it's
I
a
understand
supercut.
that. What I'm saying,
Yeah,
I
it's
assume
a
not.
super cut of context.
Oh, well,
That-
yeah.
Him reading lyrics and Richard Pryor stuff.
Yeah.
It exists with everyone. I saw somebody posted one for the Young Turks 2 days later. We'd happen on Loveline or something. You're reading the lyrics.
Yeah,
or
there's a great
Quoting, you're
drop.
quoting.
it's the name of the album or
Right.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We've discussed on this show what Willie T. Ribbs wanted the doc to be
Oh,
called.
yes, he did.
What did he want the doctor?
I don't remember.
So because that
Should have brought it up.
musician India Ari, excuse me, she took her video. Or, I mean, she's saying I'm taking my music off not because of the anti-vax whatever, but because the money that Spotify is paying me, very little money, because they get 0.003 cents a stream, and they're paying Rogan. That's going to Rogan. I'm taking it off because I don't want that, especially with this video circulating around. So she shared it. It went viral again because it's been out for a while.
I do love the notion of like, I don't want my money going like they always do that thing. Like,
My tax dollars.
So you don't want the money from the Chick-fil-A sandwich going right to the abortion clinic or whatever, however they work it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that's how it works.
The pipeline.
India IRS dropped off more money, Joe. Good. I needed to book more fake vax doctors. Yeah.
So then Rogan released an apology on Instagram saying, yeah, that video looks awful, even to me. It's terrible. And I haven't used that word in years, and it's awful, and nobody should ever use it. There's a lot of power to it. And like Trevor Noah did a whole 16-minute piece on him the other night.
On the air?
Yeah.
On the N-word bit?
Yeah.
You can't... If someone's going to put it in lyrics and put it in comedy albums and Richard Pryor and whatever else... Richard Pryor had Bicentennial N-word. I think it's the name of the album, one of his biggest albums. All right. And you say the whole word. And then people repeat it, and then you whack it up. You can't use that as cries of racism on that one.
Yeah,
please.
so Rogan said on his show that it's a political hit job, right? Because, I mean, once the first thing died, this thing comes up, and it just
Well,
nonstop.
here's what I do know. If you disagree with the left, eventually we'll get to racism, and we'll get there fast. That's how it is. Now,
it's the new Holocaust.
The truckers, right. The truckers in Canada are now racist. Like everyone they disagree with, Larry Elders, the new black face of white racism. He's just a radio show host who's running for governor. Like they get to race. You disagree. It took them a minute because they're on the vax stuff. But they'll get to race. They'll get to race fast.
Well, and that's the thing. I don't know if you saw the Unearthed, because that's really how they're treating it. Whoopi Goldberg's Jewish recipe. No. It was like a recipe for Jewish princesses or something from 30 years ago. I read it. It's kind of like this joke recipe, like have your butler, blah, blah, blah. And it's like neither here nor there. Not super funny. I get the joke she was trying to make. And it's like, wait, we're doubling down because of a recipe from 35 years ago that no one would have ever heard of?
It all exists, and everything read in either transcript form or whacked into a sound bite is always damning.
Yeah.
So I was actually talking to Drew about this, which is what they do is they go, so-and-so, who you like, who you hate. They go, Sean Hannity says outrageous thing about Whoopi Goldberg, and then here's the 30-second clip. Well, you're already primed. He said this outrageous thing.
I'll find it.
And then you watch the clip with no head and no tail, and you go, this is outrageous. But you're already in outrage mode.
Boy, I can't wait to play you the Adele quote for the news.
Things in clips and in transcript form fuck everyone's shit up. Nobody can escape from that.
Yeah, so a couple things that are interesting. Joe Rogan went on stage last night, talked about it.
Where, do you know?
It's just an Austin club.
Oh, not here.
Yeah. And he says, if you're taking vaccine advice from me, is it really my fault? What dumb shit were you about to do when my stupid idea sounded better? You know that dude who made people eat animal dicks on TV? How does he feel about medicine? If you want my advice, don't take my advice. So he addressed that to his crowd. And then Spotify, it's really interesting what they did. They removed over 100 episodes of his podcast from their platform with controversial guests. But the CEO sent a staff email over the weekend saying, I want to make one point very clear. I don't believe that silencing Joe is the answer.
Doesn't Joe sell supplements on his show? I mean, his thing is like, take my medical advice. I don't know about this particular angle of, I'm just a donut. Now you're a very popular podcast host who sells a lot of supplements and things of, recommending creatine and whatever.
Right.
I don't know. That particular angle seems kind of weak.
Well, but also he's on stage, so he's doing a joke version.
Yeah.
This is not like I'm going to release this video and apologize.
And by the way, buy my Jim Baker drum of dried food on stage.
But he has doctors on there, and a lot of the doctors go against whatever the norm is, and and by the way, they're right for the most part.
Yeah.
He doesn't have like fringe. He has some lunatics on, but the one that got him in the most trouble, that guy's a pretty highly decorated guy who was Or what it is. Go fact check what the guy said, all the misinformation, and then come back and tell us all the misinformation. We never get the misinformation. We get that it is misinformation. We don't get what he said.
Right.
Yeah.
He's a guy who came up with the mRNA vaccine or whatever it is. He's one of the guys who invented that. He's a highly decorated physician. Go find out what he said that you disagree with or that is factually incorrect, and then present it to people.
And I know yesterday we were talking about if he joined Rumble. Somebody actually asked him that yesterday. Hey, what do you think about that $100 million deal to join Rumble and do whatever you want? He says, no, Spotify has hung in with me inexplicably. So let's see what happens. And as a Spotify user, I love Spotify. Like
I was just wondering who uses Spotify and
I
why.
use
Tell
Spotify.
us. Please tell us.
I get any I get any song I want, and so I guess it tells you I don't want a ton of Neil Young songs.
Or India RE.
Yeah, but I just
So how does that separate it from any other service?
I just like how easy it is. I've been using it for years. The podcast game has gone up.
Does it cost something for a subscription?
Yeah, it's like $12 a month or something like that. But but you get any song you're thinking of I think a decent quality, and it's just really easy for me to use. I use it every day.
Me too. And I listen to a lot of comedians on it.
Yeah.
Sometimes more than music.
Okay, I'm totally on board. I do YouTube Music with the added benefit of you sign up for YouTube Premium, you get the music, and no ever YouTube ads, which is life-changing. I just can't see why someone would not do that.
But once you click off the YouTube app, doesn't the music stop?
No,
or is it something different?
Oh, I think if you pay for it, it does.
Oh, yeah.
Premium, yeah. You
Stick with Spotify.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
I've
know,
been using
Gina.
it for years.
Well,
I like it.
I don't know. We have Andrew Yang supported Joe, and then he walked it back, which was very
so did The
disappointing.
Rock.
Well,
these guys are just...
They supported the first wave of Joe, and then they walked back the second wave, I think.
Andrew may have supported the second.
Oh, okay, because The Rock did what I
The Rock
thought. Yeah,
did
sorry about that.
what The Rock did.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah, so this is Andrew Yang's initial tweet, which has been deleted.
Oh, come on, Andrew. Don't be a pussy.
So Andrew says, I don't think Joe Rogan is a racist. The man interacts with and works with black people literally all of the time. Do I know black friends of Joe's who would swear by him? Yes, I do.
All right.
Okay.
Well, that's the way he felt.
Yeah.
But
Dawson has his apology.
he changed his
He
mind.
posted it on Instagram.
He says, I'd like to believe the best of people, especially if I've met and spent time with that person. Sometimes it makes me miss something. I think we should have the capacity to forgive people. Sometimes it makes me miss something. I think we should have the capacity to forgive people, whether a podcaster or a mayor. If they mess up, maybe it's because I mess up too. Racism is real, deep, corrosive, and even lethal. I know that. I made a mistake in an earlier tweet last night that downplayed these realities.
Hold on. He said Joe Rogan's not racist. Not racism doesn't exist.
Exists.
This is the slippery, weird slope
Well, he got in
we're
trouble
on.
because he did the whole, but he has black friends, so
that was the only part I think he got in
Yeah.
trouble for, because that's like saying, I have a lot of black friends.
Yeah.
I'm
not racist. I have
You
black
can go.
friends. Yeah.
It's a decent argument, but
what's wrong with that argument? When did that become so bad?
You can't say it.
I think
Well,
you
what
can
if you
honestly
said-
say that if you have black friends,
yeah, but what
you're
if you
obviously not a racist.
He didn't say friends. It works with and interacts. It's like saying Donald Sterling's not a racist. He employs lots of black. You can
Somebody
see
grab
the
that.
fault there.
No, I did.
You can't see the fault in that?
No, I get what it is. Like if you have a lot of black people working for you, I would argue that while we don't like it, it's a trope. But I would argue that having a lot of black friends is a good argument for not being racist.
I would argue that having one black friend,
owning a franchise that has black players, you can probably still. But he's not saying Joe owns a franchise. He's saying he works with and interacts.
Ultimately,
or,
I
don't know what
agree.
he
I'm
is.
just saying I think he got in trouble for the ham-handed way. He said he interacts with and employs a lot of black people.
Yeah, it's like
not
whatever it
the
is, it'll never. There's no way out once you start down that road.
But
You have to go. He's not a racist, but now hold on.
Yeah.
What about? Sorry, Dawson, but turnabout is fair play. What about the black soccer player who goes, I love cats. I have 2 of them. You think I would live with a cat?
They're my best friends.
Why would I live with?
If you kick your black friend, you may be a racist.
Well, I'm just saying it's possible.
See?
That's all I'm saying. All right,
got the
sorry.
bottom of
Continue. And by the way, when Michael jumps on, you'll tell us, right, Kaylin?
He's just jumping on right now.
Oh, sure he is. He's been waiting for 20 minutes.
Tapping his
Looks like he literally
listening
just
to me
sat down
defend
and
Joe
said that.
Rogan.
Oh boy.
God damn it. All right, let's pretend this didn't happen.
Yeah.
Bring it home, Max Spada.
Check out the Water Cooler podcast, please.
Oh, God.
His real name's
All right, we're going to talk to the playmaker, Michael Irvin, in a minute. First, I'll tell you about Ultimate Ears. Boy, we use tech every day. Talked about Spotify a minute ago. But let's not forget about the earbuds, man. You want the best you can get, and you want the custom ones, and you want to mold them, but that's way too expensive until now. UE, Ultimate Ears, fits true wireless, custom fit earbuds from Ultimate Ears. It's premium sound, all-day comfort, and the molding experience is really easy and really fast. Guaranteed perfect fit in 60 seconds, 8 hours of continuous playback on a single charge, up to 20 hours with the charge case. If you try them and you don't love them as much as we do, because we all use them here, they offer a 30-day money-back guarantee, plus free shipping and free returns, and a 1-year warranty. Yes.
I have them. They're amazing. I will never go back. The molding them to your ears is so much fun. And I love them so much. My mom bought a pair from the website last night.
Great endorsement, Gina Grad. And what's that, Dawson?
Use promo code Adam at ue.com/fits to get your pair of UE fits for just $199. That's ue.com/fits. Promo code Adam.
All right. The playmaker, Michael Irvin, on Skype right after this.
Available now for pre-order, Adam's 6th book. Everything reminds me of something. Advice, answers, but no apologies.
It's insane. I blame everybody but me.
Adam drops knowledge, rants, and laughs, answering actual questions from you, the listener, and some celebrity friends. Follow the link at adamcarolla.com to purchase on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or through IndieBound to find your local independent bookseller. Everything reminds me of something. Coming this summer, wherever finer books are sold.
Michael Irvin, the playmaker, has joined us. Got a podcast out called The Michael Irvin Podcast and a website, michaelirvin.com. You there, Michael?
20, 30 minutes is what I'm assuming. I believe that's what it was.
I am here, my brother. How are you, man? Right here in LA, man, the city of Hollywood, for the Super Bowl. It's amazing that the last time they had a Super Bowl out here, my brother, I was catching passes, and you know how old I am. I'm an old relic.
Yeah. 3 Super Bowl wins, I believe, at the Dallas Cowboys. 3 in, 4 years?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. We won 3 and 4 years. And this was, we won within 3 years of going 1 and 15, 3 and 13, and 1 and 15. So we turned around fast and kept it going. Because we got Cincinnati in this Super Bowl. And you know, teams that are sub 500 the year before and make it to the Super Bowl. This is the 14th time a team has done that. And those teams are 5 and 8. Because usually, Adam, those are teams that just kind of hit or run. Cincinnati is not just hitting or run. This is a young team that can do damage for a long time. And they're still up under the contract with these young players, superstars, so they can get them cheap. They go spend some money on some offensive linemen. They can be here for a few years, not just this year.
Michael, I'm going to put you on the spot, so think on your feet here. Is there a team you could see next year coming from those depths, that sub-500 area, to make it to the Super Bowl or at least a conference championship game? Like, well, what's the next up-and-coming team, the next Cincinnati?
Yeah, and I'm trying to look through that to see what would be a team that comes from those depths. And I don't see, I don't see a team like Jacksonville or somebody like that now, because I would say, well, I don't see a team getting a Joe Burrow, but Jacksonville got a Trevor Lawrence. As close as you get to a Joe Burrow, and they still could turn that thing around so quickly, you know. So yeah, I don't see another team that can do it. I really don't.
Joe Burrow, man, he really showed some moxie in that game against KC, man. I mean, he was sacked a couple times. He got out of it. He ran. He didn't do a hook slide. That guy
Gamer.
really grew like the Grinch's heart after
3 sizes.
He
Right.
grew like 3 sizes in one game. I mean, I think we saw the coming out party for Joe Burrow in KC, down 2 or 3 scores. That was incredible.
It was incredible. And let me tell you why. I had, all up until that time, I had, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, and then maybe Joe Burrow right up under those guys. And I used that thing, the same thing you were talking about. Because I said, man, Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen, the time that they buy with their legs, Patrick Mahomes just maneuvers in a pocket and buys time. Josh Allen is just a beast with his legs. So I demoted Joe Burrow. And then I saw him in the championship game, and he was saying, Mike, I don't know what you were talking about. Look at this right here. And I was like, oh, my God. The way he was coming out after being sacked 9 times against Tennessee, then getting hit in the Kansas City Chiefs game, he made some incredible plays that took him over the top. And guys, listen, I've been saying this. Joe Burrow is a different type dude. He's this prototypical white quarterback, strong arm, big guy that can run, but he's a white quarterback with some stink in his tank. That's why he got the cigar, the glasses, the shit. You know what I'm saying? So he's going to be a great story to follow because he has that stink in his tank. And he needed to have this kind of stink in his tank to pull Cincinnati out of the stink they've been in for all this time.
He may have a little more stank in his tank than Mahomes does, ironically. I mean, if we're going to break it up along racial lines here.
Right, that's what I'm telling you. No doubt he got some stank in his thing. Even a little more. I'm just saying swag and style. That's it. We wasn't breaking up on racial lines. He's a white quarterback with this swag and style that he has that you don't typically see in white quarterbacks. You don't see that in the Peyton Mannings, in the Tom Brady's, in the Drew Brees, in the quarterbacks that we've had typically. He is something different. He is something special, and it makes him so much fun to watch because he wills you to believe that he can do anything, and that's why it was so perfect for Cincinnati.
How was Troy Aikman in the stank in the tank measurement? Because I don't feel like he had a lot of stank in his tank.
But Troy Stank wasn't like that. You know what I'm saying? Troy was the good straight narrow guy, and I use those comparisons quite a lot. Because I think Joe Burrow is way mature for his age, and Troy was way mature for his age, and they're similar styles. Got a rocket for an arm. Troy had a rocket for an arm. Accurate as I don't know what, and Troy was accurate as I don't know what. But Joe got that little extra thing that Troy didn't have, showing up in the shades. When you ask him, is his diamonds for real? You know how much money I make? You know these diamonds for real. That kind of answer, that's the kind of stinking I'm talking about.
Well, with that in mind, what do you think about the Super Bowl? Any predictions?
I love this battle. Let me tell you why, guys. Because it puts the NFL in a battle. The NFL they gotta want Cincinnati to win. You know why? Because they have to sit there and say, "Well, this shows that our system works. You draft the right players, you can be here quickly because you gotta make the right choices in draft." And then so that'll be good if Cincy wins for them. But on the other end, this super team in LA, they're like, we don't want the super team to ruin the NFL like they're ruining the NBA, where every guy's just working their ways out of contracts to go and play with who they want to play with. The NFL doesn't want that, but they do want to have LA, and they want LA more than anything. So if the Rams win, you get more stories here in LA. It puts the NFL in a bind. Which team do you really want to win? But either team that wins, it's going to be a hell of a great story.
Well, I was saying to someone the other day, I'm a little bit older than you, and I always watched football. And I loved football. And back in the 70s and even the early 80s, when you would watch a game and, Pittsburgh Steelers would be playing the Cleveland Browns, and the Cleveland Browns would get the ball in the offense, and they'd hand off the ball 2 times, and they'd get stuffed at the line, and you'd go, this game's over. Then Pittsburgh would get the ball. They'd hand it to Franco Harris. He'd bust off an 11-yard run, and you go, the game's over. All I need to see is this. And sure enough, by the time we got to the end of the game, Cleveland got stuffed the whole game, couldn't move the ball, nothing. Now you see these teams, they get stuffed, just like the Bengals and all the playoffs we just saw, like the last 6 games. Teams, nothing. They get stuffed in the first half. They go into the locker room and they come back out and they play lights out. You never used to see that. It was like the Steelers are crushing the Browns, and when you watch the second half, you'll see more of the Steelers crushing the Browns. Is it so much more advanced scheming going on now? The adjustments that are being made in the locker room, it's crazy.
Yeah, and it is to what you're saying from this standpoint. When you talk about the advanced scheme, what it is scheme beating scheme. See, before it was a man beating a man. Like I would have to go out and beat my man, and we're going to throw that ball. Whenever you're one-on-one, Michael, that's what we're throwing the ball. Now it's these brainiac coaches that are getting these jobs that says their scheme is why they are going to win, not because of your talent. So even though I know you can beat him, I'm not going to trust and risk that. I'm going to scheme a play to help win. That's where we are. And then, so you scheme some things, you go into halftime, and the teams come up with things to help you break down what other teams are scheming, or they come up with more ways to attack your defense, and you come out the second half and you can see an explosion. Yeah, that's this new NFL. You may see 2 different games in one game from the first half to the second half.
In addition, of course, the big change is analytics, right? Like they figured out that a pass is worth more than a run, and thus, like, establish the run used to be the way you would play football or coach football. That's a punchline now. You don't establish the run. You come out flinging it. You run when it's convenient, but a pass is worth more than a run, in the long run. So why even bother?
When you
right, what you do, you try to get ahead now. You used to use the run to control the game. Now you're using the run to finish the game. Let's go out and throw the ball. We get ahead, and then we can try to use the run to control the clock. That's why Kansas City is not here. They got ahead of Cincinnati, but they wouldn't go to that running game and drain the clock. They kept throwing until Cincinnati came back.
I was thinking about the other day, if you go back far enough, the Dallas Cowboys, Michael's team, was the only team for a while that ran out of the shotgun in the 70s. They did a bunch of weird things.
Right.
They did a weird thing where their offensive linemen would stand up and come back down again. They did a weird, I don't know. Now, I say that went on for 100 years, but it went on from the age I was 6 to 11, which seemed like my entire life. But I don't know, 5 years, 8 years. They do a weird snap count. Ready, set, they go up, they come down. And they ran out of the shotgun. And at a certain, now everyone runs out of the shotgun. Everyone, all the time. It's a novelty to see him under center. Yeah. When you got to Dallas, your first years at Dallas, how much of the league was running out of the shotgun? I mean, we know Dallas was. Had the rest caught on yet?
Yeah, no, nobody was. Nobody was.
Even in the 90s?
Everybody was under center then, because that's the only offense we knew. We only knew timing offense. Let me tell you why, Adam. We only knew timing offense, because you could hit people and separate people from the ball. So the timing had to be perfect. When the quarterback dropped 3 steps, I was going to run a hitch, a slant, or a quick out. That means I have 3 steps in my route. He has 3 steps in his drop, and he's going to throw the ball. When the quarterback drops 7 steps, I'm going to run a 15 to 20 yard in route, outright break. Quarterback dropped 5 steps, I'm going to take off. That was the timing of the route. And you learn to play games on timing because they can hit you and separate you from the ball. Once they took that out, then we didn't have to be so on time with the throw. So now everybody can sit back in shotgun, and they can have a scheme. Everybody go out. If one guy's over there, I want to send 2 guys over there. And then, and you, whatever guy you cover, I'm going to throw it to the other guy. That's a scheme beating a scheme. Instead of saying that one man beating that one man, I'm sending 2 guys to beat you. It's a different game. It's a different game. And I don't have to do it on time. I don't have to throw it on time because when I throw it, you got to wait till you catch it before you hit him. That's how this game has evolved. That's why you're seeing guys running all over the field now because they don't have to worry about getting separated from the ball.
Yeah, I always hated the math when my Rams and my quarterback, without any swank in his tank, he'd get up under center and LT would line up wide out to rush, and my guy would be backpedaling slowly, and LT had already take 3 steps forward, and it was like,
took that corner.
You guys are now even back there, and you haven't even set up yet. Why are you racing LT backwards? That doesn't seem like doesn't seem like you're going to be able to do it. He's starting off.
And that's why they came up with the shotgun. You're right. That's wwhy they came up with the shotgun. Because they said, let's just get the quarterback back there already so he can see this happening and get rid of this ball. You know what I'm saying? Because dudes like LT, they came in the game wrecking the game, and then they had to come up with new things.
When was the last time you saw a 7-step drop?
You just never, it seems so weird and antiquated, but it was also weird that only the Cowboys did it for an extended period of time. And even I was surprised to say when you got there, 89, 90, I'm still surprised the rest of the league hadn't caught on yet. So you guys went,
it was not.
You went from 1-15 to winning the Super Bowl the next year?
No. We went 3-13, 1-15, I think 7-9. And I think we won like 11 games, and then the following year we won the Super Bowl. So we went in that progression. We didn't go 1-15 to win the Super Bowl. But Joe Burrow, they went. I think they won like 2 games, like 2-14 or something like that last year, and now being in the Super Bowl, it's an incredible turnaround.
But your team, that progression was so steady and even to getting you to the Super Bowl. It's so interesting.
Right, but back then too. Now also remember what they're doing now. So we needed that time to develop. I got drafted from Miami. Troy came in from UCLA, and Troy and I needed that time to develop. But what Cincinnati did was cut that curve because they got Joe Burrow from LSU, and then went and got Jamar Chase from LSU. Excuse me, and those little things that takes years to learn. The body movement of your receiver. Like Troy, it took years for Troy to say, okay, when Michael's doing this is what I knew he's doing. So us to get that down pat, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase came from college with it. Wow. That's how they got here this quick. We're going to see teams try to even do more of that as much as they could, where they're getting guys that played together maybe in college even before they got to the NFL.
Oh, I never thought of that. It makes so much sense. You did Dancing with the Stars. It'd be like you working with your dance partner for a few years before we started doing the show. You'd for sure be a betting favorite if you had that experience. And so these guys had it, which is, I guess, you're right. It's going to become a trend, right?
Right. But now I hope that would be the case, because let me tell you something, man. I'll never forget when I did Dance with the Stars, man. The first time, because I was still working, right? And after we went I did Dance with Stars. I came in last place. You know, I told my girl when she was trying to get me, she said, Michael, we should have somebody come in and watch you dance. We were doing the cha-cha. I said, girl, I said, how many people going to be in there? She said, about 500. I said, girl, do you know who I am? Because she was Russian. She didn't know. I said, girl, girl, you know how many people I played in front of in football? I played in front of millions of people, 100,000 people in the stands. I played in Super Bowl. Don't worry. I'll be ready when the time comes. When they said dancing the cha-cha, oh, dude, I swear to you, my mom and dad is going to be with heaven. Gone to heaven on both of their graves. Ain't never been this scared in my life when they said dancing the cha-cha. My heart dropped. I said to this girl, I said, I'm not ready. She said, it's too late. We got to go now. I went out there. Yeah. Tom DeLay was a politician. He's a politician. He had a broken foot, and he scored higher than me. When I got to work on Monday, Warren Sapp said to me, he said, you set black people back 30 years, man. What's wrong with your hips? Why can't you move your hips? They got on me so bad. Hey, one of the judges said to me, Bruno, he said it to me, he said it just like this. He said, Michael, you're like the economy. We keep waiting on you to get better and nothing happened. I was hurt. I said, let me see you catch a slant route in a Super Bowl.
It's a good line,
you can't do that. But I was crushed. It was a good line. It was very funny. But yeah, it was funny, man. I'll never do it again. I don't care. They can never get me to do it again. There's no way.
Emmett Smith won it, right?
Emmett's gonna stay.
And that's what got me. Let me tell you how Emmett got on that thing. We were in church one day, and Emmett was Michael, I got to talk to you after church. I said, all right. And he said, we'll go to lunch after church. I said, okay, we'll go to lunch. We go to lunch. He was asking me about Dancing with the Stars. He says, this show coming out called Dancing with the Stars. He said, I'm thinking about doing it. I said, well, what kind of dancing do you do? He said, ballroom dancing. He said, what do you think? I was like, I said, wait a minute. I called a few of the fellas. I said, Emmett thinking about doing this. He said, yeah, tell him to do it. We'll get together every Monday night. It's going to be fun. I was like, you should do it. You should do it, right? I'm thinking it's going to be a great joke. The Joker goes in there and wins. So he went. So I'm thinking, oh, if Emmett can do it, I could do it too. Never again. I was absolutely dead wrong. I was dead wrong. Troy said, they called Troy all the time. Troy said, he said, Michael, I tell him all the time, I saw what you did to Michael. You'll never get me. You'll never get me.
I did Dance with the Stars. It was the scariest thing. Michael's so right. When you go out there and they call the announcer, does your name, you are mortified. At that moment, you're mortified. At that moment,
it's the scariest thing in the world.
I oftentimes think, like, sometimes if you're backstage and you're waiting to come on and there's a huge crowd and there's a bunch of stuff to do, and I will think, oh man, this is scary, and then I'll go, not as scary as Dancing with the Stars.
Right. That's my motto too. Honestly, literally, man, I tell people this, I'm not joking. It was the scariest thing I've ever had to do. I would never do it again. I love them. They can bring me back to wave and say hi, but do not come up with that saying, dancing anything. Mike ain't dancing nothing.
87 national champion with the Hurricanes at University of Miami. What the hell was Miami like in the mid-'80s? I mean, that had to be absolute insanity. Being in Miami, of all schools, you know, maybe if you went to West Virginia or something, it would have been a different experience. And in the mid '80s, when everything was just, it was a wild west. What was that like being there? And then also, it's before everyone had the cell phone and the pictures. You went to the club, someone would film you drinking or fighting or whatever. Was it just Sodom and Gomorrah? Was it just you? And you ruled the town because you were number one.
I could take that analogy. That was a pretty good one right there.
Well, the church. I wanted to go with a biblical analogy because of your church going ways.
I can ride with that. It was absolutely incredible, man, and insane. To be able to walk up and remember now, we're winning championships. I mean, we have a record that still holds 58 straight home games. So every time we walked in the arena at home, we won a game, and then we hit the spot afterwards, and we were winning championships at that time. I mean, they would spot us coming and say, come on, touchdown, right there, way, everything, anything you want, anything in here you want. And I was just a kid, what a kid do. You take a kid in the toy store and say anything he want, he takes as many toys as he could. And that's exactly what I was doing. I want that toy, that. That's all go. So yeah, it was fun and crazy.
I mean, again, even if it was Miami now, they're just a bunch of rules and there's a bunch of etiquette and everyone.
You can't get away with it. You can't get away with it. Hey, I did a Madden when they were bringing out I did the presentation when they were bringing out the old guys and interject them into the games, and the guys were asking me about today's game and how social media has ravished our world, and how do you think, Michael, you could have done with social media? I said, are you crazy? I got in trouble when it was news at 11. I couldn't live with Twitter every second. If I couldn't even survive news at 11, how could I survive Twitter every second? It's just insane what these kids have to deal with right now. I'm glad the Bible says God will never put more on you than you could bear. He knew I couldn't have bared it then. I couldn't have bared it. So he made sure I came before social media and got my craziness out the way.
Posting pictures, selfies from the White House.
God is really focused on you, Michael.
Right.
Like,
White House trending.
What's the playmaker going to be
the
born?
White House trending, and we ain't talking about the president.
No, the other White House.
The Michael Irvin podcast, and go to his website, michaelirvin.com as well, and Twitter and Instagram. Always great to talk to you, Michael. You always bring it.
Always good to catch up with you, buddy. Always good, man. Hey, good talking with you guys, man. Enjoy the Super Bowl. And I know this is a great time, and there's a lot going on. It's like the wheat and the tear both coming up together. We got the greatest playoffs ever, but we're still dealing with this black head coaching situation. But just enjoy it. We'll get to the business of hand of dealing with that some more. But don't miss this great Super Bowl.
Great, Michael Irvin. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. All right. I told you that guy brings it, right?
As somebody who knows next to nothing about football, I could talk to him all day and listen to his stories. What a fun guy.
You got some stank in the tank?
That's right.
All right. Let me tell you about X-Chair. From the first moment I sat in my X-Chair, I thought to myself, wow, this is what it's supposed to feel like. This is what a great desk chair should feel like. And by the way, now I look forward to it. I got the X-Chair, full disclosure, years ago before they came on as sponsors. I just wanted a really good office chair. And can your current office chair give you heat or cool you down or give you a massage? X-Chair can with Elmex massage and temperature regulation, exclusively designed for X-Chair. Plus, customized support of X-Chair's patented dynamic variable lumbar or DVL. You can try the X-Chair for yourself, risk-free, for 30 days. Once you realize just how much better it is than your current chair, you'll never go back. But try it out. No risk. 30-day trial. It's X-Chair, right, Dawson?
Go to xchairadam.com now. That's the letter X. Chair80am.com or call 8444-X-Chair for $100 off your order. X-Chair has a 30-day guarantee of complete comfort, and you can finance your purchase for as little as $30 a month. xchairadam.com.
Yeah, Brian, you remember the Dallas Cowboys and their weird offensive line stand-up thing?
Yeah, I remember it from NFL films. That was before my time. But yeah, they did the up-down.
Was that just to confuse the other team?
It was a timing thing, I assume.
There was a lot of football from at least back in the 70s was very regimented, and it was very...
Came from the military.
Came from the military. And there was a lot of, when we were playing... it was a lot of, when we break the huddle, you clap hard in unison and you run to the line. You see guys kind of walking up to the line.
Doing the courtesy jog.
You break that huddle and you run to the front line. And it was like, we're going to instill fear into this other team because we're all in unison. It was all militaristic. Right. And that was just part of it. It was just a little pomp and circumstance. It didn't have anything to do with anything. The question is how long did they do it? So I feel like they did it my whole childhood, but it was probably 5 years or something.
Tony Dorsett?
It was really just sort of a calorie burner. Yeah. And ironically, not running out of the shotgun, but that's because they're right on the goal line. All right.
The power eye.
Tony Dorsett, or Dorset.
I think because it became Dorsett.
Shaq will always tell you pronounce it differently. All right, let's the Landry shift, they call it, Tom Landry. We'll take a break, come back to the news right after this.
We haven't heard from Chris Cuomo in a while, so let's check in with him. He wants a $60 million settlement in his exit from CNN, according to Page 6. The news outlet says the former anchor isn't backing down in his battle with the network. So what does he have on CNN? Well, sources say that Cuomo, who was fired in December for helping his brother fend off sexual harassment allegations, is ready to dig in his heels by claiming that his ousted boss, Jeff Zucker, not only knew about about the dealings with the New York governor, but that the network boss had his own inappropriate dealings with Andrew Cuomo. Though he only has $18 million left on his contract, he wants $60 million because the source says he wants that Megyn Kelly money.
Yeah, well, I want that Joe Rogan money, or I'm quitting. Is that how? Oh no, wait, Elon Musk.
Yeah.
I want his money.
Yeah.
No, Bezos. I want that. Hey, Chris, you tell those guys I want that Bezos money.
Or be more conservative. Say Warren Buffett.
Warren Buffett.
Yeah.
So let's say Chris Cuomo worked at Hot Dog on a Stick, and he was let go. Could he just announce, I want the money of the guy? I want Carl Karcher money. I think he invented Carl's Jr. or something. I don't know.
Amazing. That Roy Kroc McDonald's money.
I want Roy Kroc money. What is this? You're not allowed to randomly pick other people who've been fired and go, I want that money.
He's going to try because I don't know what. They just announced it, but basically saying, I have this dirt on is someone even higher than me here? Do you want me to release? I guess he's kind of blackmailing them. I don't know.
Well, Zucker already got canned.
Right,
so
because of an inappropriate relationship.
How they're going to do it.
Yeah.
And evidently it was like 25 years and everyone was aware of it. So.
Worth getting fired over?
I don't know.
He didn't disclose it. It was a kind of a Clinton blowjob thing.
Well, he'd had a relationship since 1996 with this person. The problem with his relationship with the person wasn't so much that it was an inappropriate relationship. It was that when he met the person, they were pretty low on the totem pole, and he kept bringing them up. And then I think he was trying to get him hooked up with maybe Cuomo or Andrew, the governors.
Right, so that's the
whole thing was he was
helping,
not just having sex, but he was
pulling
promoting
her up
and
ranks,
pulling her up.
I'm sorry, I was editing a drop, so I missed it if you guys said this, but this is presumably known for 25 years. They probably went to events together in their relationship. So I assume this is timing where they wanted him out anyway.
No, what Adam just said was while he was sleeping with her, she was rising through the ranks very quickly.
But that wasn't a problem for the last 22, 23, 24, 25 years. Now it's
sort of a known secret.
It's hard to tell. There's a lot of CNN's tanking in the ratings. Discovery's going to buy them, and they're going to clean house.
Right.
I think so. This is part of the house cleaning. And then Chris Cuomo, I guess he's allowed to sue for his salary and then say, I'm damaged goods now. Like, I would have a difficult time finding another anchor gig because you guys put this stank on me.
In your tank.
In my tank. And so I need 18 million. That'll last me 2.5 years. But
so he's going for over 3 times that.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
We'll see. Some interesting news out of the Olympics. Well, we did finally have some good gold medal news, but the women's ski jumping mixed team competition at the Olympics was overshadowed by multiple disqualifications over athletes' outfits from all different countries.
What?
So 5 female ski jumpers representing Austria, Japan, Germany, and 2 in Norway were disqualified from the competition for wearing what they considered loose-fitting suits, according to...
It wouldn't help, though.
Well,
if anything, that would create more drag.
No, you got to go full flying squirrel.
That's
you got to
right.
get the length.
It was determined that the clothing could give the athletes an advantage in the air, while in the air.
Okay, all right.
And here's a couple of responses from the ones that were disqualified. After Germany's Katharina Althaus was disqualified in the first round, she was brought to tears. She accused the International Ski Federation of destroying and damaging women's ski jumping. Anna Odine Strom of Norway, here it's a little... It says of Norwegians. Okay. Disqualified, said officials had used a different method to measure their suits from previous games. German skier Karl Geiger addressed the situation on social media and questioned the rules and regulations specifically for female ski jumpers. So it doesn't sound like the women knew they were doing anything wrong.
They got to go full Adidas sports bra. That, by the way, the ratings are down a little bit.
Yeah.
You want to get those ratings back up?
I hear you.
You go full Adidas sports bra advertisement. I mean, I don't know a human who wouldn't watch shit out of that.
Topless ski jumping.
And then, by the way, whatever God gave you in the titty canard or flap department, that's just as God made you.
Kitty Kennard.
Kitty Kennard. That was a Bond secretary. Kitty Kennard, into my office right now.
Miss Kennard.
That's right.
Oh my God.
Well, I think we figured out the Kennards are like those mini wings on the front of the jet sometimes. But anyway, Kitty Kennard.
Also, it would be warm enough because I don't think there's really any natural
It's
snow
all
in
natural
Japan.
made. Yeah. You're warming up. You got the nuclear power plant right there,
Okay.
heating up the joint.
It is so dystopian. Apparently,
Totally.
the athletes love it. It was an old steel mill, I guess.
It was?
That's what I read.
That's a hell of a chimney.
But it is so dystopian. But the athletes said it's cool.
So you train all this time and then you get disqualified
Over the width of your pants.
I mean, we're looking now. I get it that they jump in a sort of singlet, unitardy kind of, form fitting, whatever, and much like
Can we put the picture back up?
Deflate Gate or whatever.
Inflate Gate.
Yeah, well,
Here.
what I'm saying is in a sport that's a matter of tenths of meters.
Right.
Look, in auto sports, they cheat some more. They try to keep working the system.
Right.
And you don't have to cheat by doing something big and overt. You need to pick up a tenth. That's all. You just need to pick up an extra 4 inches of flight time. It's just a little bit. So if somebody, and I don't know what the aerodynamics is, but if someone figured out you got a little bit more lift with a little bit more bell bottom than you did with the one that tucks in your boot, then they would do it.
Right.
Which, by the way, then would be legal up until a point.
Right. But how do you make it all the way to the Olympics without knowing?
I was a ski jump DJ at the 2010 Olympic Winter Games in Vancouver.
Amazing.
The ski jump uniforms, the suits, are not form-fitting. There is a level of drag in these suits.
They kind of have like a
they're
yoga
not
pant.
tight to your skin.
Yeah.
So it's already been found out that the drag does help you, and they allow a certain amount of drag.
Right.
There may be something to this new testing thing because maybe these suits, maybe she just used this suit in the World Championship.
Right.
But then again, I don't know if that was.
Well, that's
possible
what she
or not.
said. She said, I wore this in another game.
Right. So
They train their whole life, and then
knows?
this.
Yeah.
And by the way, shouldn't you have a low drag backup or something you could go hop
Yeah, why
into?
bring one outfit?
Yeah.
It's your lucky outfit.
God forbid it gets torn.
Yeah. So a very odd, sort of bumpy Olympics so far. So if there's anything interesting that comes up, we'll be on it. Adele has rocked the world, and not in a good way. Backlash, outrage, controversy. She picked up some big honors at this year's Brit Awards the other night. That is not what people are talking about when it comes to her. She's now been accused of being transphobic because of how she ended her acceptance speech for picking up Artist of the Year. This is a newly created category. It used to be Best Male Artist, Best Female Artist, but they
It's a
combined
tougher
it.
sell than the racist thing where you go, like, I have tons of trans friends.
Yeah.
Yeah? Like who?
Who?
Yeah, that's a tougher
Yeah,
sell.
unless you're me.
Tons
Gina
of
Martin.
friends.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
Gina could sell
don't
that.
know the verification though from Gina. We buy it.
She's been going through something because, I watch TMZ religiously.
I know.
And she had a whole residency in Vegas.
Yeah,
and
we never got into it.
She pulled the plug on that like day of.
Yeah, she blamed it on COVID and her staff having COVID, but people are
Right.
like, that's bullshit. She didn't like the set. She didn't like the lights.
She was a pain in the
Yeah.
ass, so they said.
Yeah.
It wasn't COVID and her staff. It was like they were ready to play,
Yes.
and she pulled out that day or something, and then gave the teary, I'm so sorry,
Yes.
fans, but COVID.
Do you know who's replacing her?
Is it a
Oh,
lookalike?
there's
No.
two.
Oh, I thought it was a lookalike.
Well, I do know one.
Who?
One is an impersonator.
Oh,
right.
yeah, that's not what I was talking about. Keith Urban.
Oh, right.
is
There's
picking up
that.
some of
and
the
the others,
dates.
the one's got the fake Cher. And
Oh, I love it. Oh, really? Well, now I want to go.
you know what I like to tell Cher?
What? What?
I'd go, Cher,
Yeah.
Oh God.
I don't want to burst your bubble. I know you're feeling pretty good about yourself. But
Just try me, Adam.
I've checked into Cher impersonators.
Oh.
More dudes than chicks. I don't know what that says about you physically.
Whoa.
I'm just saying. I would be insulted if more chicks played me than dudes.
If you believe in life after
Cher, let me give you an example. I'll just put it in context.
Oh, okay.
You know, there's like Howard Stern impersonators.
Oh, yeah.
100% dude.
Oh, yeah.
Stinking his tank.
But then there's Cher impersonators, and that's like 72% dudes.
Whoa.
Different dudes.
Oh.
But dudes. You're a beautiful lady who's portrayed more accurately by men.
Oh.
That's all.
If I could turn
I don't
back
know.
time.
I wish you could. I don't know if you thought about that. Yeah.
It's a long time since that video.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, you're right. A lot of the queens that end up on Drag Race do Cher. And the two top ones I've noticed, Cher and Britney Spears. And you got to be a toe wink to do Britney. A little, very pretty guy.
Athletic.
Yes.
So Adele.
Okay.
It seems like she's losing it a little bit.
Well, that's possible, but I challenge you to find the line that caused the outrage. I'm going to play it for you.
Okay.
You tell me how outrageous this is. And this is for Artist of the Year. It's Artist of the Year. Last year and every year before that, it was Male Performer of the Year, Female Performer of the Year.
I will say, I understand why the name of this award has changed, but I really love being a woman and being a female artist. I do.
Can't do that.
I do.
Can't do that.
I'm really proud of us. I really, really am. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So guess what everyone is calling her on Twitter?
Huh?
TERF.
Misogynist.
Oh.
Because it's I have it somewhere. Trans exclusionary radical feminist.
Yeah.
And the crowd went wild when she's like, I don't think she was
all the
talking.
girls in the crowd went nuts.
That wasn't like that. What did that have to do with being trans or not being trans? It was, I know that we have a male category and a female category, and we don't do that anymore. I like being a female, and I'm proud of it. And everyone cheered.
First off, the trans community is the loudest pain in the ass community there is. They're triggered. Yes, they're triggered.
Leave that, Dawson.
They're triggered by everything. Not everything should trigger you. This is not it.
This one I don't get, because you could also add to that, I love being a woman, and if you'd like to be a woman, come join me being a woman.
Here's a Cher outfit. Yes, I don't know. They're very easily agitated in the community department.
Yeah, people's and now it's like the backlash against all women, because they're staunch feminist is now a bad word to liberal progressives.
I don't know. It's all, look, this is the problem when you never stop. This is the problem. You got to pump the brakes every once in a while, otherwise you become PETA. An insane fringe group that nobody listens to anymore, that everyone used to have a lot of love for and essentially agree with several years ago. They went nuts. They wouldn't stop. And then at some point they got tuned out.
Well, they can't punchline. You hear PETA now, it's like, oh, they're protecting ants on this.
Right.
Okay,
right.
All right. Hilarious.
Yeah, they called everyone Nazis who killed cockroaches or something. So you're no better, and then you lose the audience. That's just, you got to pump the brakes every once in a while. But we're now at the point where I think a lot of these award shows are going to have to go hostless, and you're going to have to send up
announce the day of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And receiving the award, you're going to get into trouble. You got to send a eunuch up there.
Little Feather or whatever.
Yeah, you find an American Indian who's a eunuch and just send them up there to get your gift and bring it back down to your seat.
Oh, really? We're not your Sherpa. We're not your pack animal to go get your hardware and
we can't
bring it to me.
We just can't chance people talking into a microphone anymore.
One of those jumping robots from Lab Tech or whatever it's called.
Okay, what's the football player? You just have to get up there and go, yes, thank you for the question. Thank you for the award.
Sure, yeah, Marshawn Lynch or Rasheed Wallace or something.
That's your new thank you speech.
Every time I always think about Marshawn Lynch went to Cal. I think they opened it up scholastically a little bit for Marshawn.
I'm not a huge Marshawn fan, and I get a lot of tweets. I knew it was really smart. Really?
Yeah, really.
I don't know if he is.
Okay. Right. Well, let's move on to another artist. Billie Eilish may have saved a woman's life at an Atlanta concert.
Saw it on TMZ.
Of course you did. In the middle of performing Bad Guy, a woman in the pit near the stage started having like breathing issues, and Billie quit singing, like the lights came on, and she's trying to attend to this one woman, and there's, it's long, so I just cut it down. Here's a 30 seconds from someone else in the pit, and this is what Billie does.
Do we have him here? Can we just grab him?
She needs an inhaler.
Yeah, she's having an asthma attack, apparently.
I heard her documentary or something.
Yeah.
Don't cry.
So she went on to say that she waits for people before she keeps going at a concert, which seemed to be a dig at Travis Scott, who kept performing when people were like getting hurt and
there was that whole thing
at Astroworld. And ironically, she has replaced Travis Scott at Coachella because of what happened at Astroworld. So now she got her chance to show everyone how it's done.
As a performer, I'd like to announce now, if you have a seizure or stroke out or have an episode with your inhaler during my comedy set, I don't stop.
Nope.
Keep it to
I
yourself.
bulldoze right
You'll go
through.
full Stromer on that poor son of a bitch.
And if God willing you die, I will count it as killing them with laughter.
Right. Died laughing.
I'm saying he literally
How'd you do tonight?
killed them.
Yeah.
Knocked them dead.
Yeah.
Literally. I like that. I would like someone to die while I was having sex with them, so I could, for the same reasons, obviously.
Oh, boy.
He has that stink in his tank.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Those are my two goals.
That is necrophilitastic.
The first one's be hard to achieve. Second one, you could do that today.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to kill them. I
No,
just
I
like
get
them
it.
to
Expire in the middle of it. I get it. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
What was I just going to...
You're on the when you're on the bottom,
Yeah.
you know almost immediately.
That they're... Yeah.
They've expired.
I get it.
But you're on the top. That
anybody's
can be a
guess.
while.
You can keep going.
Yeah.
Unbeknownst
Yeah.
to you.
They're just really relaxed.
No court in the land. Whatever can.
Mr. Carolla, you're telling this court and this jury
I've
that
been
you
with
had
a lot
no...
of dead fish, Your Honor.
Just lay there.
No more questions.
She did stop doing her nails.
Making the grocery list.
Remember that was the universal on board?
Yeah,
Yep.
on board. Yeah, get this
Men
over
look
with.
at their watches, women do their nails.
Yeah, that was, I'm too hot to be on this date with
Yep.
you.
Yeah.
Now I think it's the cell phone.
Oh, yeah.
But back then,
It was the nail file. You're absolutely right. And I just want to clarify that you really do use your powers for good and for evil, because we've had waitresses or whoever tip full trays over during shows. You don't acknowledge it. You don't make them feel bad. You don't point it out. However, when someone is sitting directly next to you and you consider them a friend and they are turning blue, choking on their food, you also don't acknowledge them.
Yeah.
Eric Stromer.
Yeah.
The knife
right.
cuts both ways.
Because you didn't want to embarrass somebody who almost died choking.
Right, but then there's the phrase, died of embarrassment, or I was so embarrassed I wanted to die. I just didn't want to do that to the man.
You're very kind.
He needed to have this kind of stink in his tank.
All right,
Okay.
let's bring it home.
Let's do that. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news.
Stink in his tank.
Gina Grad.
That was the news with Gina Grad.
Some guys, I mean, they just have that motor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's got a forced personality for sure.
Could you imagine him in Miami in the mid-'80s?
What must have happened?
What they say, 51, 55 games in a row?
58.
58.
Home games, yeah.
Home games.
It was a party for 5 years.
And you're the playmaker. You're not the long snapper.
Did he get that name, you think, in college?
I don't know if he got it in college, but he
did
was.
get in college.
Oh, wow.
He's the most popular dude on that team, and the team has won 58 games at home, and you're in Miami. And
pretty
no
awesome.
one has a
And you're
phone.
a national champion?
Yeah, you're a celebrity.
Oh. What
Oh, can you
don't you
imagine?
get to do?
Wilt Chamberlain over here.
And
Who
by the
don't you
way,
get to do?
you're bigger than I don't know at the time, but you're bigger than the professional
I
franchises.
was just thinking, you're bigger than the Marx Brothers. Only Dan Marino is probably a bigger celebrity in Miami, and he's not going to the same clubs.
you're the Heat or whoever.
There's no
whatever
Heat back then.
There was no
They
Heat. That's
found it in
right.
91 or whatever.
Yeah, when did the Heat go there then?
91, 92.
That's when the Heat.
That's when they started.
Oh,
The
yeah, he
expansion.
was there in the mid
It was
'80s.
an
Right,
expansion
right.
franchise.
Yeah, you're the Marlins. What are
They weren't even around till 93.
you're the- like
What about the Magic?
No, they were in Orlando and they weren't around the same expansion. So 91.
you're the only show in town.
Again, Dan Marino,
Damn.
the only celebrity, and you're not competing for the same eyeballs or the same boobs.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Maybe Mark Duper.
No, play Mark Clayton, the Marx Brothers. Come on, brother.
All right. Let me tell you about Goldco. I just want to say before Gina did. If you got an IRA or 401k or a savings account, things are pretty scary these days. The government printed more money in the past 2 years than the previous 100 combined, everybody.
Oh, my.
2 years, we printed more than the 100 combined. National debt just hit a record of $30 trillion, and inflation is its highest since 1982 when I graduated from high school with nowhere to go. It's only a matter of time before we have to pay the piper.
He needed to have this kind of stank in his tank.
If you have 50 grand or more in retirement savings, your money could be at risk. Call my friends over at Goldco and see just how you can protect your retirement with gold and silver before it's too late. Give them a call, 866-600-1898, or you can go to adamlikesgold.com and they'll give you up to $10,000 in free silver when you open an account. That's adamlikesgold.com and get that silver. All right. Spokane, we're going to February 17th, and we're going to Tacoma the 18th and 19th, and then going to Waukegan March 10th, doing stand-up, and then Kansas City. We'll be there March 11th and 12th. Go to adamcarolla.com, and you can pre-order my book if you like as well. Everything reminds me of something. It's coming out soon, and it is funny. I want to thank Michael Irvin, the Playmaker. The Michael Irvin podcast is where you go to listen to him. And until next time, Sam Crow for Michael Irvin, Gina Grandball, Bryan saying, Mahala. Always do that thing like
My tax dollars.
So you don't want the money from the Chick-fil-A sandwich going right to the abortion clinic or whatever, however they work it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that's how it works.
The pipeline.
India Iris dropped off more money, Joe. Good. I needed to book more fake vax doctors.